Good, hey.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. First thing, review and approve August sixth, 2024 minutes.
I move that we accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Alright. Review and approve August 20th, 2024 warrant.
Move we approve the warrants as written.
Second.
All in favor? And Cumberland County Regional Assessing Abatement.
Move that we sign the abatement and the supplemental, whatever it was.
Something about being the wrong lot, is being taxed.
Actually came out ahead on that one. Yeah, we gained $627, gave up $100 something.
Well, there you go. Let's see, DOT municipal stream crossing grant for River Road. We got awarded a grant to fix that.
We got $200,000. And I think generally we've got a couple of years to spend it. So-
Two, if I recall. I think it's 2 years, if I recall.
Yeah.
But if I remember right, I think we can file for an extension if it's not done or whatever, but,
Yep.
and you're allowed up to 3 reimbursements, if I remember right, so you can take and start the project, fund some of it, because, you know, they don't expect the town to have, you know, the whole sum and then get reimbursed later, so you're allowed to submit a reimbursement and say, hey, listen, we've done $75,000 worth of work, can we get a check for that? Thanks. So, and then there's a match too, which I don't remember what our match portion is, but
225 or
something like that, yeah, I think so. I think it was a little over what we were awarded.
So, talking to, the guy who we had put the application in, he said he did it for 2 or 3 towns, other towns. Some of them received like $200,000 and their match was $60,000.
Yeah.
And so, my question was, do we have to spend our money first before we get to theirs? And the answer is no, we don't. We can spend the full $200,000 and then pay for whatever over and above. But I asked for them to give me a schedule as to what they're doing and when it's gonna be done, so that we can see that we're gonna make timeline.
What kind of oversight is associated with that? Do they rely on you to say?
Not really.
No.
I mean, in theory, you're gonna have the engineered design plans,
Mhm.
and after that, it's, I mean, there's a little bit, but not really, because it's gonna be up to the job foreman to follow the plans and everything like that.
But they must have somebody that knows what.
They might, because I think it was Corps of Engineers
Yeah,
and
there's the
other people.
The Army Corps of Engineers has to be involved, and I assume like Eric and them would be
Yeah,
still a little bit involved in the process of it to make sure that everything's still right, but
but the last time we did the Dearborn Bridge,
there's a bunch of different ways to do it.
the engineering firm offered to be what they call a clerk of the works or something, you know, the
Well,
clerk.
everything went through them.
Huh?
Everything went through them.
No, we didn't. Brian Anderson, said I'll do it, I'll, you know, make sure it gets done. I think Keel Brothers was the one who
Keel.
actually did the work. And we saved a little bit of money by having Brian separately take care of the paving on top of the bridge. But we'll just have to see how it goes. So I think there's a number of options on how to work it, but there's a statement in there that I think the Corps of Engineers and maybe the state, need to look at the plans and make sure that they're approved by them.
So who engineers it? Do we hire an engineer, or?
Indeed.
Oh, with the company that.
Eric.
I didn't know there was going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do the design.
Yeah.
But I don't think the town's gotten a grant since we did some work on,
Senator Black, not Senator Black, Brown.
Brown Road.
Oh, that one,
Yeah.
yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yep. Yep. So.
Good. Reminders, Thursday is comprehensive meeting at 3:00, and then planning board at 7:00. Chris, you got anything?
I got a few things. One, sorry I haven't been here for a couple of weeks. Life's been crazy. Did you guys, or have we set a date for doing the road closure?
Yeah,
Okay,
we're waiting for some recommendations from you.
okay, like I said, I'm just trying to figure it all out. I gotta get the frontage still, or the measurement still, I do remember that now. And then we're ditching up on Wigan Road right now. We did a bunch of ditching on Pigeon Brook and replaced the driveway culvert over there that needed to be done. Did you guys hear back from, I think last time we talked, we were gonna discuss it with the lawyer about the Mountain Road parcel. And whether we had to maintain it and what, if they built on it or et cetera, whether it was buildable, et cetera, et cetera.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we reached out, I can't remember the
The-
final result, but I
Well, the
believe
only-
that they told us
I
that,
saw the email from David, which basically just said the same thing, but it didn't actually answer the question unless I read it.
yeah, welcome to,
It just stated the
Or-
state law, which I was like, we already know that, but didn't answer the actual question.
Yeah, he never does.
So, that was kind of, I was like, I just,
what I took out of it all is you would probably pretty much have to discontinue that road, because, I mean, Baldwin to me has always been, okay, you put a house on a piece of property that's always been used for a road,
correct.
then, you know, I don't know how you can start, like, sticking people now. I mean, with a mountain road, yeah, that's a whole different story.
I mean, but it's not just that either, I mean, it's still I mean, I don't know how other towns do it, but I know they do it.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot, I was gonna talk to John Cross over in Standish, cause I know he does it with part of like Middle Road, and Denmark does it with another piece of, with roads, and I haven't gotten his contact.
David
over
told
in
us,
Denmark.
like, for Calvin Road, you can't leave anybody stranded,
Mm.
so.
But-
You know, you didn't, like you said, you didn't answer the question
Right.
correctly, but,
But yet other towns do it, so I'm not really
Right.
sure how they do it and how it's done.
yeah. well, how
Because they do it all the time. It's
Yeah.
just, what's the proceeding to do it? That was, okay,
Yeah,
so nothing other than what I saw on the email.
yeah.
No.
Okay. I think that's it for now. I'm sure there's more I'm forgetting, but,
Does that guy apply for any kind of permit for that land, or does he purchase it, do you know?
no, I think it's the realtor trying to sell it, and he's reached out to me here and there. He hasn't actually reached out to me lately. But before they list it, they wanna know whether it's a buildable lot or not. And I've asked him, like, where are you gonna put the driveways? You know, these are things that we need to answer to say yes or no, because there's a couple spots in there where you couldn't do it. So,
That'd be a question for Mike, wouldn't it?
well, it's, the guy hasn't been real great about answering questions that I've had. And I've kind of told, I know he spoke to Don before, and Don kind of said, you need to talk to the road commissioner about the road. So he kind of got
About the road, yeah.
Yeah, on the road, and,
Yeah.
you know, and I kind of asked, you know, well, where's the driveway gonna go? Because there's a couple spots, there's no way and Mike's been great, because I've been able, every time a driveway permit comes in, he tells me, send it over to me, whatever. And I
Yeah.
can go out and check it out to make sure they don't need a culvert and that it's in a
Yeah.
decent spot,
Yeah,
which has been phenomenal. So, I kinda asked the guy, and he didn't really have an answer for me. He hadn't even been out to the property, so he had no idea. So, but he hasn't actually messaged me lately, so he hasn't emailed me lately, but I just figured I'd follow up with that. I'll see if I can reach out to Denmark's road commissioner, public works foreman, whatever they have over there, see how he does it, because I know he does it with several different roads
yeah.
for winter maintenance. Maintains them in the summer, doesn't in the winter time, and it's on the residents to take care of it,
Huh, yeah.
so.
You said summer resident, not full-time resident.
No, it's full-time residents.
Okay.
Yeah, they're full-time, he says that they plow them.
Mm.
He says they're all plowed out, but they don't take care of them. They do the summer maintenance on it, but no winter maintenance on it.
What do they do for like Grant Road? I mean, I know that the association down there plows their own roads, and I know they
Yeah.
maintain their own roads.
Grant and Baldwin,
Yep,
that's 100% a private road.
yeah.
It's nothing for public, so that's all on them anyways, so.
Like Nassau Road, before they moved up here, they, you know, you wouldn't plow it,
Right,
but they would call the town, say, we're coming up this weekend, we want to plow, and they have to go up and plow it.
yeah, that's one of them ones that,
The driveway.
it's a driveway, it's a driveway, call it what it is.
You know, just continue.
It's a driveway, there's one house on the road, it's a driveway. By statute, in my eyes, it doesn't even meet the criteria for a road anymore, which is
Right.
3 or more houses.
Right, I mean, but it's, grandfather, though.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's just like Duran Road.
yeah.
That's another one of those, and that's miserable. That's a long hill road. That's a big hill to climb
For one house.
for one house. There's probably 4 or 5 that I could think of in town that are like that.
Yeah. Winston.
Winston's not too bad because they don't plow to the top again, so that's minor now. But, you know, Anderson Road, New Road, we only plow to one house. Frosty, we plow to one house.
Just go beyond the house, right?
We don't, technically speaking, we're not even supposed to go beyond the house. We're supposed to stop halfway through the house. Like, you know, how we got that U-shaped driveway?
Yeah.
There's a tree right in the middle of that U-shape.
Yeah.
That's the footage right there. That's where the town road ends. But there's no place to put the snow, so you have to go up beyond it.
Yeah.
Go. And it's like 368 feet or something. I'm like, why?
It's a waste of time.
It is, because you gotta drive in and back out.
Right.
And backing out slow. Just like Mesa Road, there's no place to turn around, you have to drive in and back out.
Right. That's long.
New Road, if you take the small truck, you can get around and turn around in his driveway and pull out and drive out. Anderson Road depends on how much snow you get, whether you can turn around at the top or not. But, and then, Duran Road, they're pretty good actually down there. They make sure their vehicles are out enough away, the vehicles, and you can get turned around a lot of
Yeah.
Duran, but, so. Those fun roads. But, I'll see if I can find some more information on it,
All right.
do my own little research, I guess.
Mary, David?
Well, I can add to that. When Kenny and I first built our house, it was considered the Lombard Road,
Yeah,
and you were supposed to plow it. It was legal, you had to plow it,
yeah,
but the town immediately brought it up to a town meeting and discontinued the rest of the road.
yeah,
So, I think that's the only way you're gonna get it, is by discontinuing the road.
yeah,
If you don't wanna maintain it. So like, with my road, I have lived there 45 years, I've never asked you to plow it.
yeah.
And at this point in time, you said it's probably abandoned.
Yeah, it would be abandonment.
So I mean, and I don't really want you to plow it, okay? I don't want you to.
Right,
But all I'm saying to you is I'm bringing it up because that is how
yeah,
they got the Lombard
Yeah.
Road off of the town road.
yeah.
by
And I think the
discontinuing.
public easement would be an option,
Mm-hmm.
the public easement
Well,
would be
yeah,
an option.
yeah, because there was,
And
time,
abandonment.
Dale Locke owned a 2 or 3 acre lot up there in the middle of what
Yeah.
Mike and Lori Day now own. And, he had the right to go up there,
Yeah,
buy our house, to go up there into that lot, and then he sold it, well, he didn't sell it to me, but he would've if I had asked him to. But we figured a way to like make a deal so that the guy, this Van Hertel, got that lot, but he would sell me the 13 acres that abutted our property, which took it right down to the main road.
yeah,
So now we own our whole driveway rather than
Right.
having a right of way,
yeah,
which is better.
yeah.
Anyway, my interjection.
Anything else?
You're gonna get us some recommendations on.
Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out something.
Mary Ellen? Maybe?
I just have a question, okay, so, and I don't know how many years ago it was that we went, so that Cumberland County does our tax assessing.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we change that way instead of having our own people do it? I know some towns have gone with it and then turned right around and didn't find it feasible for,
You have to go through schooling, you have to be certified. They quit, O'Donnell's, because they were messing up big time, and they didn't want us anymore.
well, I know
But they
when
want-
the last people came through, they asked to go down in my basement. I don't have a basement, you can see the skirting on my house. And then they wanted to go up and into the attic.
Oh, that was the assessors?
Yeah.
When we
It's
did the reval?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were hired by Cumberland County to do it, so they
But
had,
it's like.
out of Massachusetts, so they had no clue, yeah.
Yeah, that was the worst reassessment ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really
It's
was,
like-
We had no control over
It's
that.
like-
you know,
I have no attic, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
you can see, and it's like, you can see the skirting around the trailer, there, you know, I can pull out one of the things, you can crawl underneath it if you want, but
Yeah.
it's like,
If it was to do our own assessment, like, I think Hiram does something.
I think they do, yeah.
I wouldn't wanna do it personally, because I wouldn't wanna be accused of being biased.
mhm.
You know, if my taxes are lower than somebody else's, you know, oh yeah, you fix your taxes, that's something I wouldn't wanna do.
Well, I know mine are higher because I have road frontage on both.
Right, yeah,
It's like,
no,
you look at some others that have, you know, houses that have a basement and they have more acreage, but they only have one road frontage. And
Right.
it's like, their taxes are cheaper than mine.
yeah, right,
Corner lot,
corner lot, yeah.
yep, they would sell more, sell for higher too.
Or a house with a view.
Of smoke.
Don't get them started on that.
You get a pretty nice U-Haul, don't you?
We do, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a lot of educating to do it, so I don't think I still work a full-time job, you know.
Well, when they analyzed, my truck, they told me, they put it down that I had a fireplace, and I don't have a fireplace.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people that happen to, even Gary, they had him down, you know, it was wrong.
they had my whole square footage wrong, they had me a finished attic, which is nowhere near
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah, I
Just
think
a
they did that to me
multitude
too.
of wrongness. you
Yeah,
know.
I think they did that for us
Yeah.
on the garage,
So,
so, I wouldn't want it up there.
and then I put an abatement through, you know, whatever you call it, a disgruntled
Yeah.
letter, and they were gonna take care of it, and then all of a sudden I get the new tax bill.
So,
And then when they finally saw the error in their ways, I got a refund check with $900,
yeah.
but they wanted that rather than figure it out to begin with. I think the problem is we live in Cumberland County. You know, the only way to get out of that, I guess, is to, secede.
Well, I know like on the business end of it, they will go through all of your, like, social media accounts and stuff like that. I borrowed a wheelbarrow from Bruce to do one of the jobs, and they sent me a thing saying, I don't see the wheelbarrow on the list.
Seriously.
Dude, and like for 2 years, we did a job, when we first started, we did a job up in Sebago, and we borrowed the people, they had a front-end loader, and we borrowed that to move the mulch, and they were like, for like 2 to 3 years,
Mhm.
they kept coming after me, saying, you didn't list that, and it's like, did you look at your thing from last year, or the year before? You know, we don't own a Kubota tractor.
Yeah, I personally have a big problem with that, business tax as far as what you own. I think that's just another way of.
And what I pay for business tax, it costs them more to send the paperwork.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's just a Gestapo's way of getting more money out of you. They figured out a way to find a new tax.
The
and,
$3.05 they can.
Yeah, it's asinine. You look through our book, you know, some people are getting taxed $38 because they have a few computers. They're getting, you know,
Well-
to me, that's above and beyond.
Yeah.
But that's a state, we have to do that, though.
Here we go with the state mandates
Yeah.
again,
There's no,
yeah.
you read if you read that just came up in, like, that magazine we get, and the first line is, that it was asked, do we have to do it? Or can we get out of it? Yes, can we avoid the personal tax? Personal property tax, and the first line is absolutely not. So it comes from the state. O'Donnell didn't want to do it, they were pretty much basically breaking the law.
You pass $7,000 a year, you're bound to break it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know, at some point, somebody's gotta stand up, you know, whether it be a municipality or single person, yeah. It's an overreach.
But just like, they just harass you, and it's like, dude, you're only getting $3.05 for me, you know?
Don't matter, as long as they get more, they justify their job, you know?
The thing is, there's more than just somebody's computer or, you know, wheelbarrows roll into that personal property tax. It's a bad name, what it is. It's actually a business equipment tax. And then when you read the law, it's not exactly clear that, you know, somebody's lawnmower doesn't belong on the list too. But it's executed statewide as a business equipment tax. And we get a lot of revenue from business equipment tax.
That's it for the mill.
We get the mill, we get the tower, we get,
CMP.
well, we don't get business equipment tax from CMP because of the way, it gets assessed. It gets assessed, somebody at the state puts a number on it for us, for Cumberland County. That gives what, I think it's an income equivalent number. That says this type of business would generate so much income, and therefore we put a number on it. Because you can't build a power plant like that, so you can't put a real number on it, you know?
Right.
Can't do that anymore. But, yeah, I mean, it brings in a lot of money, so the question is whether we should be taxing every little guy with a computer who does his home business, and, you know, whether we could say if the tax is $15 or less, then we just write it off. I don't think that there's a law that says we can do that. I mean, when people talk about, you know, let's bring businesses in so they can help support the tax, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I don't mind paying the tax, but I don't want to be hounded, and essentially that's what they're doing, you know.
Doing something you don't have.
Right.
Yeah, what happens if you rented a piece of equipment?
Well, they want, if you rented a piece of equipment, they want to see the rental
Oh,
thing.
contract with it,
Yeah.
So in your case, maybe a letter or a statement from the person that lent it to, the homeowner or property owner.
Well, yeah, well,
That
that's,
might be
Yeah.
sufficient.
they actually called them, you know.
So something along those lines, or if you needed help with something like that, feel free to reach out to us, because we have dealt with, not necessarily the personal property, but, different situations like that, where we've helped the abatement process along. So you don't have to deal with that alone if you need.
Well, I keep all of my slips, you know, from year to year to year, and it's like, when I dispose of one lawnmower, then I put the new one on it, you know, it's like.
But sometimes there's a breakdown of communication along the way, and it takes the selectmen or, somebody to kind of interject and say, okay, what else do you need for further proof to get this resolved or whatever.
I can tell you though that I've talked with selectmen from other towns, and I've heard other people say that they don't do personal property tax collections. But you're supposed to do it. It's a law.
Well, I know for a number of years,
It's one of those things that,
there was some of the bigger businesses that were not, you know.
That's what it came down to, some were paying, some weren't.
Right, yeah,
And, and it wasn't fair.
yeah.
Well, it's more or less still the case, because you can't lien personal property tax like you can real estate. So those that don't want to pay, their credit is not necessarily going to be impacted, or like a lien would on, real estate. So it would mean the town actually taking these people to court, and we don't do that. So some people are still more or less if you wanna say, getting away from or out of paying the taxes, then, yeah, you could make that argument, I suppose. So, either people are doing the right thing and paying it, or they're not, and there's no consequence for not doing it. But in certain cases, yours is more of a pain in the tush, you know,
Well, I
and
mean,
a
it's-
headache.
Yeah.
But in some cases, it's been, I can tell you, like with the campground, it was 14 or 15 grand
Yeah,
in personal property taxes. That, you know, when, it was a couple of years that added up, and then when it, changed hands, the new owners paid that back tax and got it cleared up. So it can be a substantial figure in some instances.
mhm.
That's why money had to hold all those conveyors off from,
Yeah, yeah, that's right, I think you're right, yeah.
But when you have office furniture that looks like this, like we do, and old metal filing cabinets, and you're getting taxed on that, well, you scratch your head a little bit, but you just fill out the forms and roll with it.
Yeah, this is, I mean,
Yeah.
that's all you can do. We do it at our office, too, we have to do it to our.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Bruce? Yep. Chad? Robin?
So, the only thing is on Thursday, I'm having kind of a Zoom meeting with the new website people, the guy that's got everything, kind of in the sandbox, playing around with to kind of do from a design perspective. So any inputs the three of you might have, or anybody else in terms of like layout, there was a couple of towns that they gave us, for example, in the email, was Durham was one, I think, that we looked back through, that had, you know, recently been rolled out. Leamington. I think for myself, my input would be that I think the directory, where to navigate needs to be like in your face. So that when people are going to the site, they're not looking around for, okay, where do I
Yeah.
find code enforcement, where do I find planning board?
Maybe user friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so right away, they know which department they're going to and contact information. I think first and foremost, that's a priority. I did notice that was kind of neat, was that, this newer one actually had a little bit of history of the town, you know. Maybe it's something the historical society or somebody can, you know,
Yeah.
for the history of Baldwin, you know, like the population, when it was, when it became a town and so on and so forth. That might be something different that we could add.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, a primary thing certainly, initially, but if we can add that, it might be a little something extra. So, and some, I think it would be good to have some more information on elections, you know, in terms of, the process with absentee voting and all of that. I mean, I don't know if we have to be as thorough as Standish has several pages, but somewhere in between, to better guide people. And I noticed that the newer town that went on had kind of in layman terms, about things like personal property taxes and, you know, that ours directs us right to Cumberland County assessing, which is good, especially for forms as they're ever changing. You don't wanna have somebody completed an expired abatement application or homestead or whatever. I don't know if that doesn't expire, but the abatements certainly do. But, so that link to assessing is important, but if we had some little bits that were just kind of summarized in basic terms, basic language, what each is, a little bit, if you look at that, I think it's Durham, like I said, if you look at theirs, it's, you know, there's some things that we might, you know, be able to hijack a little bit and use. But
What time is it?
it's at 9, but I can certainly change it if you.
No, if I, you know, if I was, I happen to be home, I don't know day to day if I'm out there or not.
What he's doing is he's pulling stuff from our website now,
Yeah,
I think, and, just trying to organize it a little bit and then get some ideas, but I definitely could use some input.
So is it coming in to meet with you here?
No, it's a Zoom type of, yeah, the salesperson, Nina, is actually coming in tomorrow to pick up the check and to meet us, here in the office. She's in Conway, and, so it's not too far, but.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be here on Thursday,
Right. When will you be back?
next week.
Okay.
Monday.
Do you want me to reschedule it so that,
Go ahead,
reschedule it or go ahead and do it?
trust you.
Okay. I think the more input we have, the better, so. Yeah. Yeah, I think it just should be user-friendly.
Yeah.
And, you know, ours, the way it is, we actually, or I forget that there is a directory, because you've got everything kind of right in that line. So when I go to edit something like code enforcement, when there's a changeover or whatever, I tend to focus on that and whoops, I forgot the directory. So you've got to change it in more than one place. So, I think how this is set up, you go to the directory and then it breaks down from there. Kind of like tabs, domino type effect thing.
Yep. Anything else?
That's it.
Bob? Dale, again?
Just, update on, I said I'd reach out to a couple siding people. I actually contacted three. Two were too busy. One guy said he'd take a look at it. So he's gonna come down and measure it and, see what he can do with it, and give us a price.
Yeah, that's just for the old,
Yeah, just,
yeah.
yeah.
Everything that's got
Check
311 on it, that wraps
5111.
around the other side, actually.
You remember off the top of your head what you came up with for a square foot?
I don't, but
Yeah, I've measured it once and wrote it down so I can look at it again, yeah.
I came up with about 15,000 using
With
the square foot number that you
yeah,
used,
yeah,
so it would get you close.
yeah. Yeah, I came down, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I measured it myself.
Yeah,
I never did add it all up,
I
but,
might have it written down at home, but, let's check,
so IRC should be, I haven't heard anything from them, other than the last email about the third week of August and so on, but, so I'm assuming they should be reaching out to us at some
pretty
point.
soon, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I could probably send an email.
No, I'm sure they're busy, I mean, I'm sure they'll cut about it.
Anything else?
No.
I'm all set. Any motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
All in favor?